dying, and he did that when he was 30 years old. It's there in the book of John in chapter 2 from verse 1 to verse 10. The miracle of Jesus of using the clay to make the frame or the figure of a bird. He breathed into it, it fly as a bird, containing in chapter 3 verse 49, as well as in chapter 5 verse 110 of the glorious Quran, is nowhere mentioned in the Holy Bible. The miracle of Jesus of telling you what to eat when he comes across you and what to hide at home in the store, that is informed in the glorious Quran, is nowhere to be found in the Bible. This is in line with what our Sheikh has quoted. In the book of 1 Corinthians, in chapter 13, verse 9 to 11, Paul is reported to have said that for we know in part, meaning our knowledge is not complete, and we prophesy in part, meaning our teachings are not complete. But when that which is complete is come, the one that is in part shall be kept aside, shall be done away with. And to further buttress that, John mentioned in the book of John, in chapter 20, verse 30, that Jesus performed many miracles, signs and wonders in the midst of disciples which are not recorded in this book. Where then can we find the unrecorded miracles of Jesus? Any scripture that brings the recorded as well as the unrecorded miracle is the complete scripture that Paul is referring to, telling you to kick aside the Bible that's not complete and get hold of the glorious Quran as the complete scripture from Almighty God. The name Jesus, by name Isa, as the evangelist has spoken, the Quran addressed him as Messiah. Yes, we believe that Jesus was a Messiah in 11 different places, 11 verses in 9 different chapters of the Quran. Quran addressed Jesus as Messiah. Not only chapter 3 verse 41 that you quoted, 11 times addressed as Messiah. 22 times is addressed as the son of Mary, and he's addressed as Isa in the glorious Quran 25 times. In chapter 2 verse 87, in chapter 2 verse 136, in chapter 2 verse 253, in chapter 3 verse 45, in chapter 3 verse 52, in chapter 3 verse 55, in chapter 3 verse 59, in chapter 3 verse 84, in chapter 4 verse 157, in chapter 4 verse 163, in chapter 4 verse 171, in chapter 5 verse 46, in chapter 5 verse 78, in chapter 5 verse 110, 116, in chapter 6 verse 85, in chapter 19 verse 34, in chapter 33 verse 7, in chapter 42 verse 13, in chapter 43 verse 63, in chapter 57 verse 27, in chapter 61 verse 6 and 61 verse 14. These are the 25 different places in the Bible where Jesus, in the glorious Quran, where Jesus is addressed as Isa in the glorious Quran. So we believe in Jesus, we respect him, and we honor him in his true personality and nature, not in the same way you believe Jesus to be. The topic of discussion is, which is the way, Islam or Christianity? The audience should understand, from the time immemorial, when human being first set their feet on earth, human being has been searching for the way. We have been on an ultimate expedition, on a journey to eternity, and human being has been searching for way. Along the way,